Hi guys, welcome. Hope you're doing good. Today, on the 17th of January 2024, let us look at some of the important issues of the day in news in 30 minutes. The first issue is the concept of dark patterns, how the design tricks are made in order to manipulate users. The reason why this is in news is the Central Consumer Protection Authority has defined what is dark pattern and has also listed 13 different dark patterns that are to be banned in India. Okay, so this is in consonance with Section 18 of Consumer Protection Act 2019. Okay, so let us first understand what is this dark pattern, and then let us look at these 13 different dark patterns that are listed by the Central Consumer Protection Authority, which is important for your prelims exam because they can just give you a term and then they can ask you what is the meaning of this term by giving you 4 different statements. For example, I'll just give you an instance where they can just tell you basket sneaking. Okay, they can just ask you basket sneaking was recently in news. What does this mean? And they can give you 4 different options. So basically everyone will try to guess on the basis of common sense. Sometimes it may work, sometimes it may not. So it is always better whenever such listings or enumerations are done by the government, it is always good that you get a clarity of what the terms mean. Okay, hence having a good clarity of these 13 listed dark patterns is very, very important. Okay, now let us first discuss what exactly is this concept called dark patterns. Okay, so basically dark pattern, the pattern is dark, that is a pattern is created in order to manipulate users. That is what is dark pattern. In other words, I can say that the design or the functionality, okay, the design or the functionality or the advertisement that is being made in the website, the design, the functionality or the advertisement that is being made in the website is something that makes the users do which they originally did not intend to. So I hope you got this. It makes the users do which originally they did not intend to do. So intend to do. Okay, so this basically is what is known as dark patterns. Okay, so you are creating a trap for the users to do an action which they don't want to do, or they didn't want to do, or they did not intend to do. This is what is dark patterns. Okay, so this concept or this term called dark pattern was introduced in 2010 and it was introduced by Harry Brignall. It was introduced in 2010 by a person called Harry Brignall. Okay, now across the globe dark patterns is being banned, and in India there is as I told you, in India the Central Consumer Protection Authority has released guidelines. It has released guidelines for the prevention of dark patterns. It has released the guidelines for the prevention of dark patterns. Now, where is this getting the authority? That is, why is it that the Central Consumer Protection Authority is getting the right to release these guidelines is from, as I already told you, Section 18 of Consumer Protection Act 2019. Okay, this Section 18 of Consumer Protection Act 2019, it gives the central government, the power to prevent unfair trade practices. It gives the power for the central government to prevent unfair trade practices as well as no misleading or false advertisements. Okay, so the Section 18 gives the power for the central government to prevent any type of unfair trade practices as well as no misleading or false advertisements. So under this, the Central Consumer Protection Authority has released the list of 13 dark patterns which are to be banned in India. India. Okay, so this is this is what is the concept of dark patterns. Now let us look at these. What are these 13 dark patterns? Okay, the first dark pattern is creating false urgency. Okay, so basically you're creating artificial scarcity. You're creating artificial scarcity, like you're telling that there are only 2 left. It is fast filling. So in that way, you're creating a false urgency and making the user commit to an action which the user did not intend to in the first place. That is what is creating false urgency. The second is basket sneaking. The second is basket sneaking. Now this is very interesting. Look at this. What happens is, it is inclusion of additional items. Inclusion of additional items into your basket. Inclusion of additional items into your basket. It will be indirectly included. For example, it can be that you will be donating, which you will not know, or they would have created some type of a service charge that you will not know. This way of inclusion of additional items in a way of charges into your basket is known as basket sneaking. Okay, so whenever there is basket sneaking, then the total amount payable by the user will be greater than the total amount of all individual products. Look at this. The total amount payable by the user will obviously be greater than the total amount payable for all individual products. So this is what is basket sneaking. The third dark pattern is forced action. The third dark pattern is forced action. Okay, so basically this is forcing the user to commit. Forcing the user to commit. Now, how do you do it? For example, let us say the user wanted to buy a product called X. If the user wants to buy a product called X, you say that if you have to buy X, you have to buy Y also. Or you will say, if you have to buy X, you have to subscribe. Or you will say, if you have to buy X, you have to sign up. See, this way of forcing a commitment from the user, which is not necessary or which the user originally did not intend to do, is known as forced action. The fourth one is confirm shaming. The fourth one is confirm shaming. This is basically you're instilling within the user, you're instilling fear, insecurity, guilt. This is what is known as confirm sharing. For example, let us say that after you are buying something in the website, you are asked for a charity, and let us say that you will decide no, you will not donate money for the charity. So when you don't donate, there is a prompt that comes up: charity is for the rich. Charity is for the rich, and I don't care. Let us say that this prompt comes. So this prompt is indirectly hurting the user and making that user feel guilty, and it may, in most of the time, make the user rethink, and that rethinking can create some type, the rethinking can make the user pay the charity. So that rethinking is because of the shaming. Okay, I will give you one more example. See, confirm shaming. If you take online air ticket, if you go for online air ticket booking, let us say you are booking a ticket. When you are booking a ticket, let us say you chose not to tick the insurance. The moment you chose not to tick the insurance, you are going to get a prompt that will say, I will stay unsecured. Okay, so by giving you that prompt, they are instilling fear in you, and that fear will make you rethink. This aspect of creating a shame will make you rethink and force you to confirm. This is known as confirm shaming. Okay, this is again done in several e-commerce websites. Okay, the fifth one is subscription trap. Subscription trap. Okay, what do you mean by subscription trap? It is basically making cancellation of a subscription making a cancellation of a subscription overly complex. So in order to cancel one subscription, you have to make 10 calls, you have to wait on hold, you don't know where exactly to contact, the customer care is not easily accessible, you have to just leave a message, there is no phone call that can be made. So all these are basically, they are making the cancellation of subscription overly complex. So what makes it, the user, because of the paucity of time, will let go of it, and this will result in the continuation of the charges. So this is what is subscription trap. The sixth is interface interference. Okay, interface interference. So basically what this means is, if you take a web page, okay, now let us say that the user wants to see the entire information that is there in the web page, but the web page is designed such that some parts of the web page are highly highlighted and they are made to grab the user's attention, and in order to make sure that this part is highly highlighted, they are going to obscure this parts. Okay, so basically interface interference is, you are going to emphasize on some parts of the web page and you are going to blur, or you are going to obscure some part of the web page. Now that part of the web page which you want to advertise will be emphasized. Those points of the web page which is not used, or which is not in the advantage of the company, is kind of obscured. So this is kind of creating an interface interference. Okay, the seventh is bait and switch. The seventh is bait and switch. This again is, see, they'll tell you that they will advertise a high quality product is available. High quality product is available for a cheap price. Okay, first they will tell you this, there is a high quality product available for a cheap price. Now when you want to buy this high quality product, they say that this product is run out. There is the stock, there is out of stock. So they'll say that this high quality product is out of stock. However, they will say that there is an alternative product. There is an alternative product that you can buy, but it is available for a little FT price than before. So basically the advertisement is it is leading you to this alternative product in the first place. There was no high quality product at all. It was just a gimmick played to make sure that you are a bait. Once you click on this bait, now they will switch. They will say that this high quality product is not available. However, this alternative product is also as good as it. It is just that there is a little FT price on that. So you will end up paying that FT price because you don't want to wait for the same product. Okay, so this is what is known as bait and switch. The next is drip pricing. Okay, dip pricing is basically not disclosing all elements of prices upfront. So basically when you are selecting the product and when you are putting this product into your basket, you feel that it is cheap, but once it goes into your basket, you end up seeing that there are more charges that were not disclosed in the upfront. This is known as drip pricing. Okay. The next is disguised advertisements. Disguised advertisements is basically the advertisement is presented. Okay, the advertisement is presented in such a manner. That it will conceal its true nature. So basically what they are showing need not be the one that they are advertising, but there will be an implicit message, an implicit image, or an implicit brand, or an implicit behavior that they are going to show. That is the advertisement. So the concealing the true nature of the advertisement and showing something else is what is known as disguised advertisements. Okay. The next is nagging. Nagging is nothing but repeated and continuous disruptions or annoyance that are created. Basically, these disruptions are continuous You're asking the user, or you're requesting the user to provide information. You're requesting the user to provide confirmation. So in this way, you're continuously repeating that disruption or annoyance, and you're forcing the user to commit for an action. This is known as nagging. The 11th is asking trick questions. You're tricking the user and asking questions. For example, let us say you want to opt out of a subscription. When you want to opt out of a subscription, there can be an option called yes or no. But what will they do? They will not give you this straightforward option. They'll give you yes, you want to opt out, and not now. Okay. So by changing this, instead of telling no, I'm sorry, if you want to opt in, let us say, if you want to opt in, there is yes, this option is there, yes, and they will remove no. So when they remove no, it is not now. So in this way, by telling not now, they can keep asking you to opt in, to subscribe. So this is how these trick questions are used in order to keep the users in the loop. Okay. The 12th one, sorry. So let me just write it here. The 12th one is SaaS selling. The 12th one is SaaS selling, that is software as a service selling. What this means is, let us say that you will get a free trial. After the free trial ends, you are not informed that the free trial has ended. They continue charging, and this will lead to recurrent charges. This will lead to recurrent charges. So this is what is SaaS selling. Okay. And the 13th and the last one is rogue malwares. Rogue malwares like ransomware and rogue malware like ransomware and scareware. Okay, so these are some rogue malwares. So overall, these are the 13 different dark patterns that are banned by the Central Consumer Protection Authority. So to just give you a list of it, the first is creating false urgency. The second is basket sneaking. The third is forced action. The fourth is conform shaming. The fifth is subscription trap. The sixth is interface interference. The seventh is bait and switch. The eighth is drip pricing. The ninth is disguised advertisements. The 10th is nagging. 11th is trick question. The 12th is SaaS selling. The 13th is rogue malwares. So these are the 13 dark patterns that are banned by the Central Consumer Protection Authority as per the Section 18 of Consumer Protection Act 2019. So I hope this issue was clear. Again, very high chances for them to ask one dark pattern and check your clarity in that. So be very, very thorough with your clarity. Okay. So this is about the first issue. The next issue is judicial contradiction in Delhi's Chief Secretary extension. The top court has not only lost sight of constitutional logic but has lost its own past wisdom. The reason why the author gives such statement is, let me just give you the evolution of, or the timeline of what has happened regarding the extension of Chief Secretary's tenure. Okay, so even after the retirement, the Chief Secretary's tenure is extended by the central government. It is extended by the central government, and it is the extension of Chief Secretary of Delhi. Okay, so this is the issue that is happening. So basically, it all came up in this judgment called Services Judgement 2023. Okay, in this Services Judgment 2023, now the Supreme Court of India told that under Article 239AA, under this article of the Constitution, the elected government of Delhi, exercises the control over the services. Okay, so they exercise the control over services in Delhi. So that means the Delhi government will get the powers in order to promote, to post the bureaucrats, or to promote or post the people who are in all India services, okay, in Delhi. So that is the basic judgment that was given in Services Judgment 2003. It said that the state government, okay, will have the relevant powers in the all India rules or in the joint cadre rules. Okay, so this was the judgment that was given. So basically, in short, they just told that according to the Services Judgment 2023, which was a 5-judge bench, and this 5-judge bench just told that the government of Delhi, the elected government of Delhi, will have the power to control the administrative services. So this is what was given in the Services Judgment 2023. Now, when this was given, the central government knew that there will be complications, because the administrative officers of Delhi will handle both union list subjects in the union list as well as the subject in the state list, because the Delhi administrative service will handle both the union list as well as the state list. The central government now came up with something called the Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi. The Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Amendment Act 2023. So the government came up with this act, and according to this act, the central government was given the statutory authority. The central government was given the statutory authority over the civil services, in the national capital. Okay, and this particular act, which was passed as an amendment to make sure that the central government will get the statutory authority of civil services in national capital. So basically, this amendment has negated the Services Judgment 2023. So this is what has happened. Now, with this, what has happened is the central government has extended the tenure of Chief Secretary. Okay, Chief Secretary. Now, what is the problem? The problem is it has extended the tenure of the Chief Secretary without consulting the elected government of Delhi. Now, because it has extended the tenure without consulting the elected government of Delhi, the Delhi government has filed in the Supreme Court that this is unconstitutional. It is not only filed about this extension of tenure, but also regarding the Amendment Act that negates the Services Judgment 2023. Now, where is the complication? The complication or the complicated judgment that was created is the Supreme Court cited that when the Delhi government approached the Supreme Court cited that the Chief Secretary of Delhi for this particular office, the office is different compared to other administrative offices. The office is different compared to other administrative offices. Okay, so it said that Chief Secretary of Delhi, this office is different from other administrative offices because the Chief Secretary will handle subjects that are present in Union List, and because the Chief Secretary handles subjects that are present in Union List, that means that the Chief Secretary can be handled in a different way. Okay, so this is what was told by the Supreme Court. Now this is where the author tells that this was not required. By allowing Chief Secretary to be treated differently from other administrative officers, we are introducing complications within the appointment process. Okay, so the Supreme Court has somehow told that in the services judgment, the Supreme Court has told that elected government of Delhi is in charge of the civil services in Delhi. But in this particular part, the Supreme Court is telling that Chief Secretary of Delhi is a post that is different from other administrative offices. So there can be chances where the extension. So there can be chances of extension of tenure without consulting the elected government of Delhi. This is what the Supreme Court has told. Now this is where the complication is. So this is what the author is talking about. Okay, now the court is still looking into the issue on the amendment of the Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Act 2023. So we will keep updating of what will happen, but this is the story up to this point. This is where the author says judicial contradiction in Delhi, Chief Secretary's extension. Okay, so that is where the author is told that it has not only lost sight of constitutional logic but also its past wisdom. Okay, so here one important case that you should know is 1973 E.P. Rayappa versus the state of Tamil Nadu. Okay, this case is important. So 1973 E.P. Rayappa versus the state of Tamil Nadu. Okay, and in this case, this is the case where the role of Chief Secretary, this is the case where the role of Chief Secretary was first delineated by a 5-judge bench. Okay, so this was the first case where the role of Chief Secretary was delineated by a 5-judge bench. And it is here that the Chief Secretary was told that that position is a linchpin in the administration. It is a linchpin in the state administration. So that is what was told, and it was told that this position necessitates a rapport with the chief minister. Otherwise, the working of the state becomes difficult. Okay, so the author tells that this particular case was overlooked when the chief secretary was read by the Supreme Court in what is happening in Delhi. So the author tells that the spirit of this Rayappa case was not upheld in whatever Supreme Court's interpretation of the extension of tenure of Chief Secretary of Delhi has taken place. So this is one other perspective that the author gives. Okay, so this is the overall issue that is currently taking place regarding the Chief Secretary's extension in Delhi. Okay, it is again a tussle between the central government and the state government regarding the separation of powers. Okay, it is again a issue that is coming within the Article 239 AA. Okay, so I hope you understood the exact contradiction of what is happening. So this is about this issue. Let's move on to the next issue of the day. The next issue is a very good article that gives you a basics of how time is calculated. Okay, the passage of time through 24 zones. Okay, so basically Earth will rotate 360 degrees in 24 hours. Okay, so in 1 hour the Earth will rotate 15 degrees. Okay, and 1 degree it will take 4 minutes. Okay, so this is how the time is calculated. Okay, again I'll repeat, the Earth rotates one rotation in 24 hours. So in 1 hour the Earth will cover 15 degrees. Okay, now with this knowledge, now let us go into how the time zones are done. Now this concept of time zone was introduced by Sir Sandford Fleming. Sir Stanford. It was introduced by Sir Stanford Fleming. Okay, and he introduced this concept in 1876. Okay, and overall he called for establishing the time zones, establishing 24 time zones. Okay, for 24 different hours. Okay, so establishing 24 time zones that matches with 24 hours. Okay, so this is what he had suggested, and this is what is today being used. Okay, now let me just come back to this diagram later. First, let me tell you longitudes. Okay, so longitudes are imaginary vertical lines. Okay, longitudes are imaginary vertical lines. Now they are dividing, or they are divided such that they help in calculating time. Okay, so basically it is the longitudes that will help us in order to determine, it is the longitude that will help us determine the time zones. The longitudes that will help us determine the time zones. So coming back to this diagram, if you can see, look at this, these are longitudes. Okay, these are longitudes. Okay, now let me, if you are looking at the diagram, can you look at the prime meridian? Okay, the prime meridian that you are looking in the diagram, this prime meridian passes through Greenwich, London. It passes through Greenwich, London, and this Greenwich, London, the line that passes through this is used as a reference. And this is known as Greenwich mean time. Sorry, it is known as Greenwich Mean Time. Okay, and this is taken as a reference. So what do I mean? Let us say that if this is the timeline, and if there are two longitudes, let us take this and this. Okay, so as you can see, 15 degrees is 1 hour. So I'll assume that this is A and this is B. A is this side 15 degrees and B is this side 15 degrees. Okay, so if you take the longitude A, since longitude A is to the east, it is an hour later. Okay, and if you take longitude B, that is to the west of the Greenwich time, then it is an hour earlier. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell is, if let us say this is 12 o'clock, if the Greenwich mean time is 12 o'clock, then the time experienced by A, which is 15 degrees in front of Greenwich Mean Time, is going to be 1 o'clock. That is an hour later. And let us say the longitude B, that is below, I mean that is beyond, or that is to the west. East and west will be a better keyword rather than front and back. So let's not use front and back. If I take longitude A, since longitude A is to the east of Greenwich Mean Time, the time there will be 1 o'clock. Since longitude B is to the west of the Greenwich Mean Time, the time there will be 11 o'clock. Okay, see, 12 o'clock, there is an hour later. Here it is an hour earlier. Like that, if you keep going, if you keep taking the longitudes in 15 degrees, if you keep taking longitude in 15 degrees, you need to keep adding 1 hour. Okay, so it keeps going 1 hour ahead. So if it is 1 year, 2, 3, 4, 5. So every 15 degrees longitude, it will be plus. But if you go to the Greenwich Mean Time and go to the east, let us say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and all these longitudes are separated by 15 degrees. If that is the case, then it is -1, this will be -2, this will be -3, this will be -4, this will be -5. So this is how the time is calculated. We take the prime meridian as the reference, and from that time meridian, in every 15 degree line, we start marking an hour later to the east, an hour earlier to the west. So this is how the time zones are calculated. So I hope you understood this. Okay, now Russia. Okay, so you got to know what is the importance of longitude, and you also got to know how with the help of longitudes we are able to determine the time zones. Russia is the largest country. Okay, and this Russia owns 11 time zones. This is the largest within a nation. Okay, and India as well as China, though both are large nations, both India and China have single time zones. Both India and China have single time zones. Okay, so this is the entire concept which was given very beautifully in the paper that explains regarding the time zones and how longitudes will help determine time zones with the help of prime meridian or Greenwich Mean Time that is taken as the reference in order to calculate the time, and this runs through Greenwich, London, hence it is known as the Greenwich Mean Time. So I hope you understood this concept. So I hope these concepts were helpful. Please make sure that if you have enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you for all the love and support, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.